Guys, my name is Adam. I go by Coach HardgainZ. That's the name of my coaching platform. I've been coaching bodybuilders, recovering and current drug addicts, and I've been mentoring troubled youth for over 20 years. Now, I even put a collar on for you today because we've had some people challenging me and my intellect, and it's a little tight on me though. And they think that they know something that I don't. And I can respect that. I don't know everything. But when you come to my house and you want to speak with me on that which I have been informed on properly by doing my own homework, research, have my own anecdotal evidence, have hundreds and hundreds of other studies, essentially clinical studies of my clients and their anecdotal evidence. I don't think you're going to kind of outsmart me or outwit me there, my friend. And so many people have been watching some of the videos that I've discussed Kratom in great length, and everybody wants to continue to run back to the same thing. Kratom is an opioid. And then you still also have people trying to say Kratom's an opiate, which whatever, okay. But we have to discuss this because I'm tired of saying the same thing over and over. So, I've already put out videos. Is Kratom an opioid? Is Kratom an opiate? Is it neither? And I've told you the truth. It's neither. And I've told you why many times. And right now what I'm going to do is I even matched my hat to my shirt. And I'm going to put on... Wait, alright. I'm going to put on a collar, which as you can see I've done. And I've matched my hat to my shirt. And I'm going to roll my sleeves up here and I'm going to be a big boy and use that college degree that I... Now... Friends, we're going to get into something called pharmacology. If you don't know pharmacology or even anything relating to it, it's probably not going to really make sense to you. And those of you who don't know enough should probably stay out of the conversation and just listen and absorb. You know what I'm saying? Try to absorb this because this is important. Now, I am not a pharmacologist. Let's be clear. Kratom is neither an opioid nor an opiate. Now, Kratom is very unique in the way that it works. The way that it works as a partial agonist to the opioid receptors within the body. The alkaloids that are found in Kratom are something that are a little different. They're referred to as indole alkaloids. And an indole alkaloid is basically a plant-derived product that exhibits a lot of pharmaceutical properties. Does that make sense? Okay, so these are the alkaloids within Kratom that give a lot of its effects, good effects, bad effects, negative effects, side effects, all of those. And those two alkaloids are mitragynine and 7-OH or 7-hydroxymitragynine. Those are the two alkaloids that give Kratom its properties. Now, this is why they are unique and not like traditional opioids. Now, while both of those two alkaloids, mitragynine and 7-hydroxymitragynine, do bind to the mu opioid receptor, which is what people keep, well, it binds to the mu opioid receptor, and that seems to be all they know from reading it on Google. Okay, yes. They bind in a partially agonistic way. And to continue into that argument, they also bind in a weak way to the kappa and delta opioid receptors, which is just let's shove that off to the side for now. So that's kind of for this whole argument of, oh, Kratom's an opioid because mu opioid receptors, then... Okay, fine. Now, we've already cleared that up, right? Go back to what I just said a couple minutes ago, and I've cleared that up. But the mu opioid receptor, that is what's responsible for effects like heroin and morphine. So many people are saying that because Kratom binds to this mu opioid receptor in our body, that it's going to give us the effects of heroin and morphine, which is not entirely true, even in the biochemical sense. Because again, it's only a partial agonist in this way. To answer another question, which many people have asked me, what are the numbers on the back of my bag of Kratom? That's the alkaloid content. It'll say mitragynine 1 point whatever, 15, something. Then it'll say 7-OH mitragynine or 7-hydroxymitragynine. Then it'll have a smaller number, right? It'll say like 0.045. Now, those numbers are important because that is essentially, in 1/1000th of a whatever, it's essentially the amount of alkaloid that actually binds to the receptor. And I guess one other point for that argument of like people calling it an opioid is kratom binds in a nanomolar affinity, which means that's the percentile, the percentage of alkaloids that actually bind to the receptor at a certain concentration. Okay, so kratom, it looks like standard drugs in that way, whereas the affinity, its binding affinity is similar to traditional drugs. But again, here we are discussing things that don't make it what it is, they just make it similar to other things. And this is sometimes where actually having a brain injury really bothers me, because I used to be able to put this stuff together in my head. I mean, I don't write anything down. I don't have anything anywhere. I don't have a teleprompter. I don't have a whiteboard. I just get in front of the camera, maybe review a couple things I want to say, and then I just start spewing what I know into the camera. And that's what I do, because having a brain injury kind of, that's just easiest for me, I guess. But I do have a brain injury, remember, and that really does kind of bother me when it gets to things like this, because I used to just flow, and now I'm like, I really have to struggle for things. All right, so there's my whatever. All right, now getting back to the pharmacology of kratom. Now let's start building the argument that just explains why kratom is not an opioid. Remember, I said kratom is something called an indole alkaloid, a plant-based compound that has a number of pharmaceutical properties. That's what that is. It's that simple. Now, despite activating the mu-opioid receptors like a traditional opioid, the point is that kratom is pharmacologically and structurally different. So this is what makes kratom unique. Now, early on in pharmacology, the studies used to be based on receptor and cell membrane, right? Like what the receptor and the cells look like on the outside, the membrane. But now pharmacology can look further than that. Beyond just that cellular membrane. And now pharmacology is so advanced that it can look at intracellular signaling pathways within the membrane. That's just how the advancements have come. Like, outside gives you a small bit of the picture, but it's inside that matters. That's why now we can finally look at what's within the cell of kratom. So when an opioid binds to a receptor, it initiates something called G-protein coupled, or GPCR signaling mechanism. GPCR signaling mechanism. But now that we are seeing more studies on kratom, we are seeing that pharmacologically, indole alkaloids that we discussed earlier that are found in kratom, because again, kratom is indole alkaloids. Those alkaloids can initiate the GPCR signaling mechanism. G-protein coupled can initiate that without initiating something very important called, and if you think you're so smart, you say it out loud right now before I tell you what it is. Unlike traditional opioids that are binding to the receptor and initiating this GPCR, that kratom can do something unique and potentially initiate GPCR without initiating the beta arresting pathway. This is what it comes down to. This is the argument. Now, if you have been one of the ones arguing with me over this topic, why don't you just go ahead and put down in the comments what beta arresting pathways are without Googling it or looking it up. Because this is the whole point. Even in arguing the FDA, even in arguing the AKA, the American Kratom Association, because none of these groups know what kratom truly is. Now, let me tell you, the beta arresting pathway is what is responsible for traditional opioid side effects, like constipation, sedation, respiratory depression. Now, what else does this mean, guys? This touches on a subject I don't want to go into right now, which is the so-called deaths of Kratom. And I tell everybody the same thing. I can't believe that. I need to know more. I want to know more. I want to get all the information I can. I want to be part of that to see what happened to this person, because I don't believe Kratom could kill somebody. Kratom does not initiate the beta arresting pathways. The beta arresting pathways are what lead to the respiratory depression of opioids that essentially is what kills people. What happens when you overdose, when you take too much of heroin, when you take too much of your favorite drug or opioid? What happens? What normally kills people in overdose is the respiratory depression that occurs. Here's the whole argument. And so many people have been trying to debate me on this. And frankly, I get to the point where I'm like, I don't have time to freaking sit here and argue with you. But so many people have been asking me to get a little deeper into this topic, and I really am glad. I'm really grateful. This, friends, if you are a Kratom advocate, hashtag Kratom saves lives. It does. But people need to know the proper information. And again, that's why I make these videos. I need your help. If you're in the Kratom community, we are going to be fighting a fight for Kratom very soon. Please just believe me on that. I know what's going to happen soon. We have to be ready to fight for what is right. And I will go as far as I can go to make sure that Kratom can stay legal and available, and it should be available to everybody. Even in the U.S., we can't have states here and there that consider something legal. We have to have a standardized legalization system. Same thing with carrying. I shouldn't get into it. Okay, whatever. But guys, friends, this is the point. We really need to kind of band together on this. I'm going to ask you to please push these videos. Push the Kratom videos that we've been making, because this is what's going to build the community. Knowledge. Knowledge is what's going to win our fight. The more people that know the truth about Kratom is what is going to keep it legal, non-regulated by people who have no business getting involved in a natural herbal supplement that saves lives and takes people's pain away. Friends, my name is Adam. I go by Coach HardgainZ. You can find me at Instagram at Coach HardgainZ with a Z. For coaching and consultations, please send us an email at coachhardgainz@gmail.com. You know I always tell you please and thank you for your patience, because it's just me and my assistant, and the bigger the channels get, Coach HardgainZ and Healing Together, the bigger the platforms get, the bigger the companies get, the more that she is overworked. and so am I, of course. But we are getting through, everybody. And if we haven't gotten to you yet, thank you for your patience. Just keep sending us messages, okay? And if it's an urgent situation, please put in the subject line, urgent emergency. I need both of those words, urgent emergency, because we do get some people writing in emergency, and it's not an emergency. But if it is a matter of minutes or seconds, please, I would rather you try to reach out to us immediately, okay? And friends, we're really grateful for your donations, your contributions, and a lot of you have been giving us these super thanks, this button down here that says super thanks, and it's really nice of you. We really appreciate every little bit, because I am trying to get the time, the opportunity to, and really, we're trying to be able to push more of these videos, okay? But that's on me, okay? So friends, please share these videos, especially this one. This is an important video. It may not be for everybody, but this is going to be a very important video, and this is going to be a video that will explain a lot to people as to why I truly am a Kratom advocate, why I know the FDA needs to just butt out. Thank you all for watching. Again, I'm so grateful for you all. Stay tuned for the next video, because I do have part 2 of QUIT KRATOM with me coming out very soon. It was just a matter of me sorting out my health insurance debacle, finding my new pain meds, getting on them, and making sure that it was right for me. Otherwise, I can't get off of Kratom because of my spinal fusion, neuropathy, nerve damage, my TBI, my brain injury, my everything. Alright, guys and gals, we are healing together. We're going to get through this, and we need to band together for the fight on Kratom. Love y'all. Bye.